Okay, we're back. So we've scoped out a big tripentatonic D box. So it's tripentatonic in the sense of its horizontal width. Because here, if we look at the D shape, and then the fifth of D, the fourth of D is the G shape, goes to its fourth. See our G shape there? 4, 6 root. And then the fifth of the D shape is the A shape. We have here 2, 5, 7. See that A shape right there? There's its root, 5. Okay, the fourth, the root is over here, the doubled root in the G shape. And the D shape's root right here. Okay, we see that, and there's our D string right there. If we had our fret nut or something like that, like right here or something. Okay, but as you know, in short patterns, we wouldn't be able to access them, but we could have a bar there, finger bar, just lift that and get these guys. The problem is when we start and we want to do our blues magic, we've got 2, 3, 4, there's a blues note. Okay, and then we got 5, here's our root 6, then we got 7, root 2, 3, 4, 5, we've got a blues note doubled in our box, where we want to have easy access between 5 and 6. This is what this chart is about. So I've restructured these three. We're going to use a cutout on these when needed to isolate these things, and I'll show you how that works. So we're going to have a cutout, a 3/4 cutout going to the 5 root 6 right there. Okay, so how are we going to do that? How's that going to work? Let's look. Down here, I've got 2 stacks to play here. 2 stacks. Okay, we have the Root Magic Key builds, 1, 4, 5, and we have the Root Key builds right here. So let's just look at the Root Key, because that's what we're playing in. Okay. Root of the 1, 4, 5 blues is going to be 2 here. Root goes to 6. Root goes to 5. But first, let's look at that magic key. We looked at that at the root, but let's look at the root of the magic key, because it's easier. See how it's root is easier. We want to isolate this 5, 6 here. Okay, so that we can play this 5, 6 thing. It's going to be like this. It's going to be, or want to have that nice, neat, short interval. Okay, so it's not shared between 2 string shapes. So we're going to do a G string cutout. Let's look at that G string cutout. So remember, this is your G string. The 4th string from the bottom is always the G string. No matter what note you're on, it's the G string. Okay? Here's a G. That's the G string. Here's a C on the G string. Still the G string. Here's an F on the G string. There's an E. High E on the G string. High E. Anyway, that's the G string cutout. So what we're going to do is, I left the string shape indicator there, and let's review that string shape really fast. So let's look at this. This is the short pattern. So here's our C. This is our C string shape, 3, 4, 5. I didn't show the accidental in there, but C is where the accidental is. It would be in between here. Okay, so this is your string shape build. Alright, so we're going to cut out of that C string shape 3, 4 and start the 5 here. So we'd start a 5 here, but this is a long pattern, so let's get those long patterns up there. Okay, so here we have the long string shapes. Sorry, I brought the other ones, and these have the accidentals in there too. So we've got root 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 root 2, and then 3, 4. Okay, so this is the build. Okay, say this is the build of the Magic Key. So once I get to 7 root 2, it's easy. It's just 2 alias, and then 2 alias positive, negative, and then 2 alias positive here. Okay, so alias means it's the same little ditty shape there, little fragment shape, but negative means we're like, you know, got 2 attached notes here, and then this negative kind of thing, and then we've got 2 positives there. We got a whole step there, whole step. So we can ride right up that and then go back into 5, 6, 7, root 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So these are the string shapes, the long string shapes. They're play away from the fret nut string shapes. It means they go to the right. Okay, let's show that. They go to the right, off this way. I don't know if you can see that arrow very well. Okay, so let's see what we... Okay, so we've got a root 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 root 2. Now we're going to cut out of the C, 3, 4, and just enter into this again at the 5. That's all it is. That's a wonderful thing about the modal string shapes, is you can go by number. If you cut out of 1, 3, 4 instead of going to 5, you can start 5 on the next string. And you know pretty much through shape fitting, if you're trying to get an open string, that's going to be an open string 5. That's why we do the cutout on the G string there. So we go into 5, 6, 7. So that gives us a clear shot at that blues note. Root 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, blues 6. I'm getting a little wrist pain today, so 7 root 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now notice it's F to G, because F's the 5th of B flat. I'm doing it in B flat. Okay. Now when we go to the 4, so that, and this is just a little review. I've added this to the chart. You'll see it posted. We'll go to the, we're going to also have a G string cut out for the 4th. Now what happens in the 4th, we move the whole pattern up. So now root's going to the 2nd string. What comes to fill root's place? 5, it's underneath it. Bop, it comes in there. Remember, 7 string build, 6 strings. We're always missing a we're always missing a string here. Which one are we missing here? Well, in the cutout, we're missing actually 2 of them in the cutout. Okay, so let's not get too complicated there. But if we're doing play away, we're missing 1 because we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 strings. We'll be missing the 5. But we cut back to get the 5. We have the 5. What we didn't get really the C string shape. Okay. Okay. I did a little thinking. So with the cutouts, we're missing 3 because we have a doubled root string shape here. So we're missing 3 now. We got the cutout, so we're missing the C. We'll only have half of it. Okay, so 2.5. We're missing the G string shape and the D string shape. Okay. With the cutout, but with play away we're always missing 1. Play away goes like this. And then we get the last one. Okay, so in that case we were missing the 4, 5, 6, the 5, 6, 7 rather, which was F, G, and A, being the 7th of B flat. So let's look at our 4th. Key of C. Here's my A shaped F down here. Okay, so we move the pattern up. We're going to replace the bottom string by 5, 6, 7.